This nun teacher is new to this Catholic school. Interestingly, she was fired from the school where she previously taught due to bad relationships with male students. They hired her at this school without knowing about her bad behavior. Even now, her old behavior at this school has not changed. She approaches male students and takes advantage of them by taking them to her home. But one day, something bad happened that no one expected. Hello, my dear family. Peace be with you. Today I have brought you the most popular movie called The Bad Sister, which was released in 2015. My family, please help us by liking the video. Without wasting time, let's go to the movie.
Yes!
The movie begins with a young boy named Jason playing music for a video released on a social media site. Jason lives with his family and is a popular boy for the videos he posts on social media. The next day, Jason and his sister Zoe finish school and go with their mom and dad to the Catholic school where they attend summer school. When they get there, a new teacher named Sophie has come to this school. She used to be a teacher at a different school, but now she has moved to this school. Sister Rebecca, the principal of the school, takes Sophie on a tour. While they are walking, Sophie sees Jason and feels drawn to him. After this, Sophie goes to her room, starts watching Jason's videos, and kisses the screen of her laptop. We understand that Sophie may have known Jason before this time. The following day in class, Sophie notices Sarah chatting with Jason, which stirs feelings of jealousy within her. She moves Sarah to a different seat so that she won't be near Jason. Instead, she tells Zoe to say a prayer. Only nuns say morning prayers, but Sophie doesn't know how to pray, so she stays quiet during that time. Sarah was looking at her slowly in the middle of their prayer. Sophie was pretending to pray. The next day, while Jason was entering class, Sophie called him from his faraway home and asked him about Sarah. Sarah asked if she was his girlfriend, and when Jason told her that she was not his girlfriend and that she was just a normal friend, Sophie feels happy when she hears this. The next day, when she sees Jason and Sarah kissing, she grips her cross tightly in anger until her hand starts to bleed. Sophie is behaving wildly and will do anything to be with Jason. After class, Sophie asks Jason why he said that Sarah is only his friend. When that wasn't right, Jason didn't know how to respond. Sophie invites Jason to her house after school. She says she needs to talk to him about something important. When Jason visits Sophie in her room, her door is wide open. Sophie is putting on her clothes. Sophie did all this on purpose to get Jason to be interested in her. Jason keeps looking at Sophie, but he walks away without saying anything to her. Jason goes to his room and thinks about spending the whole night with Sophie. Sophie got Jason to notice her. One day, as Jason was going home for the weekend, Sophie saw him talking to Sarah and became very jealous. She then asks Sister Rebecca for permission to leave because her aunt is sick, and she needs to visit her. Sophie arrives at Jason's house at night. She stows away and sees Jason. At that point, Jason gets a call from Sarah. Sophie feels awful seeing this, and she gets it that, in arrange to have Jason, she must to begin with partition Sarah from him. She at that point furtively puts the bad drugs in Sarah's book, and the following day in lesson, when Sarah opens the book, Sophie catches Sarah with the weed, and tells all this to Sister Rebecca. Sister Rebecca puts Sarah on hold. Sophie hides a bottle of alcohol in Jason's room. When everyone's rooms are checked, a bottle of alcohol is found in Jason's room. The principal was going to expel Jason too. Sophie says that Jason deserves another chance. The principal doesn't send Jason home from school after listening to him, but as a punishment, he has to assist all the teachers. Sophie was making good progress in trying to win Jason's heart, and he was starting to get closer to her. In this part, we learn that Sophie's real name is Laura, and she is very rich. Since she saw Jason's videos, she fell in love with him and wanted to be with him no matter what. That's why she kills Jason's real teacher, Sophie, and then pretends to be a nun at his school. When all the students are going home for the weekend, Sophie asks Jason to stay at school. The next day, while Jason is at work, Sophie comes up to him to catch his attention. That night, while Jason is sleeping in his room, Sophie goes in and tries to flirt with him. But Jason thinks it's not right, so he stops Sophie from doing it. But after Sophie pushes him, he gets close to her. Sophie had saved all this on her phone. The following day, Jason feels bad because he treated his teacher poorly. On the other hand, Sophie wanted to remove Zoe from the situation because Joe was always watching Jason and Sophie. That's why she purposely gives Zoe low grades on the test, which makes Zoe sad. Sophie tells Zoe that she will let her try the test again. She then calls Zoe by herself. After class, Sophie puts the answer sheet on top. When Zoe arrives, she grabs the answer sheet instead of the question paper. Sophie tells Sister Rebecca that Zoe cheated on the test and asks her to suspend Zoe. But Sister Rebecca knew that Zoe was a bright student, so she gave her another opportunity. Sophie's plan to catch Zoe doesn't work. After Sophie leaves, Zoe tells Sister that Sophie isn't being nice. But the sister thought Zoe was saying this because she was mad. That's why she doesn't pay much attention to her. The next day, Jason goes to church to admit his mistakes. As he entered the church and was praying, Sophie suddenly appeared. Sophie comes and becomes close to Jason. Last weekend, a dad from a different school came to visit. When Sophie spots him, she hid because she had killed the teacher he had sent her to. Therefore, if he saw her, he would ask her where she came from, so she should not be seen for a while. Sophie, scared of being found out, tells Sister Rebecca that her aunt is unwell, so she needs to go see her. Then she goes away. At the same time, Jason receives a message from Sarah. She invites Jason to her house party. Sarah kisses Jason at the celebration. But Jason can only think about Sophie, so he leaves. A police officer stops him outside because he is too young to have alcohol. At that moment, Sophie comes and gives him a hand. Then Sophie brings him along, takes off her clothes in front of Jason, and tries to get his attention. She wants to be near him, but Jason doesn't let her. He tells Sophie that he doesn't love her and feels very sorry for what he has done to her. After saying this, he leaves. Sophie gets very mad. The next day, Sister Rebecca brings Sarah back to school. Sophie gets very angry when she sees her. Then she gets really angry when she sees Sarah and Jason together. She tells Jason to stay away from Sarah, but Jason doesn't listen. That night, Sophie goes to Sarah's room while Sarah is in the shower. She hurts Sarah a lot. She makes it seem like Sarah tripped and fell, so everyone thinks that's how Sarah died. Jason knows that Sophie is the person who killed Zoe. Sophie gives Jason an ultimatum: be in a relationship with her or else. She will make his video popular where they were being close to each other. This really frightens Jason, and when he gets home, all he can think about is it. Zoe sees that Jason looks upset about something. She asks Jason about it. Jason talks to her about his relationship with Sophie and mentions that Sophie is threatening him. After watching the video, Zoe decides to reveal Sophie's secret to everyone. The next day, Jason and Zoe sneak into Sophie's room to look at her laptop. Then they find out that Sophie's real name is Laura. They also find pictures of Jason on her laptop. Sophie asks Sister Rebecca for time off because her aunt has died. When Sister Rebecca calls the hospital, she finds out that none of her aunts have died. Sophie was not telling the truth. The other day, when Rebecca asks Sophie about it, Sophie hits her and makes her faint. Zoe and Jason go to tell Rebecca about Sophie, but they can't find her. Then they go to the church to look for her. Sophie goes there too. Zoe tells her that they now know her secret. As they begin to leave, Sophie strikes Zoe. She was going to hurt her. At that moment, Rebecca rushes in from behind and catches her. When Sophie starts to choke Rebecca, then Jason stabs Sophie with a screwdriver and she dies. The movie ends here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.